everybody, and welcome to Ask the Answers podcast with myself, Adele Cobain, and in the studio or online on our podcast today, we have the Larice Sherry who's joining us. Good afternoon,
Hi,
Sherry.
Adele.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here again.
Eventually we got here. Now, behind the scenes, little do you know, it's all been going on, and there's a big reason why, which Sherry's going to tell you about. But trying to get ourselves online to speak to one another today has been a bit of a challenge. Now, why is that, Sherry? What is going on with technology?
Okay, so Mercury retrograde started yesterday and it's going to go on till about the 29th, and it takes a few days to get out of shadow. So, this is a time where patience is going to be required. We are going through a lot of astrological transitions, and planets are all being affected right now, and it's going to affect your day to day, especially when it comes to travel, when it comes to communication. It requires a bit of patience. It took us about 30 minutes to get on here, but we made it. 1:11 on the clock, as I said that. So this is part of Scorpio season. That's what I want to focus on that today. It allows us, depending on where Scorpio is in our chart, it allows us to recognize to touch on a lot of those sensitive parts, those tender places, those edgy places. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So Mars has that piercing quality of intensity, of that fiery energy, right? So you could have easily gotten heated in the moment of us not being able to connect and our time is being cut. But we didn't. We stayed open, we stayed intentional, and we made it through, right? So this is with that support, using the scorpionic energy, the nature of Scorpio in terms of body astrology. This is a system where it causes ripple effects. Scorpio doesn't deal with surface level conversations, as you know, Adele. We go deep,
Yeah.
right? So Scorpio likes the unseen, the unheard, and Mars likes it in Scorpio. So unfortunately, on a lower frequency, because all signs have a lower frequency and a higher frequency, right? And so it's in our best interest to evolve into the higher frequency, to take this life and work through our challenges, as we did together as a team this morning. So teamwork makes the dream work, right? So unfortunately, Scorpio is associated with power. So without it, life wouldn't exist, right? Scorpio has a three-pronged physiological purpose in our body. Think of Scorpio what it does. Its role is it concentrates, it expels, and it eliminates. So think of the zodiac, the archetype of Scorpio, as the one who helps push forward change, transitions. We are the way shower, in a way where we're not afraid of changes. We're not afraid of death. We're not afraid to go through transformation for the rebirth. So this is November. That is what's happening. This is if we don't eliminate waste in our body, what happens? We are at risk of contamination, illness, and disease. So all organs of elimination belong to Scorpio. So we figured out, we eliminated the problem, right? We found creative solutions, and we did it, just like with the example of technology. So this is a time, Adele. You probably started feeling the Mercury retrograde a couple of days ahead, where traffic, the GPS is going to go a little wiry. So don't depend on just one thing, right? Have you noticed anything lately in your physical world yet?
Not yet, actually. Today's the first day. Last week for me, it was just like I had so much energy. I was doing so much. It was just like I didn't have time to think last week because my husband was away, so I was having to do double the amount of everything. But everything ran quite smoothly actually for me. I felt quite organised. I was making sure I got a good night's sleep. I was just making sure I was on point with everything. So last week was manic. But I know today I felt quite tired until obviously I went to the gym and I felt a lot better. And I went in with, as I mentioned before, we talk about intentions in my workplace, and one of them was about acceptance. And I was saying to people, because of obviously the energies around us and feeling maybe overwhelmed or feeling quite emotional, just to accept how we're feeling, but deal with it in a positive way. And that might be coming to that gym class today and being around positive people that are going to lift you, or just a chance for you just to clear your mind and just to focus, if things are feeling quite overwhelming for you. And just to make sure that we're using that energy in a positive way, that passion, that energy, that the fire in your belly, rather than snapping, being irritable, getting upset, being sensitive. So I was trying to bring us all together and accepting and being aware of how we're feeling at the moment. So that's what I was discussing more in my last week and coming into this week.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And again, this whole month, retrograde, when you think of retro, it's really about retrospection. It's about revelations, So shocks at this time, it's like imagine putting your finger on an electric shock, right? This is also in the tarot, the tower card in tarot.
Mm-hmm.
So you touch the electrical shock, you're going to get shocked. So how do you ground that energy? Right? So grounding the energy by working out, by taking a bath, a salt bath, going for a walk barefoot in nature, however you do it. Everybody's different in the way that they ground the energy into our body, but it's all about not reacting, but going within and connecting to your higher self, to that inner peace, that stillness, and kind of releasing any attachment to what's happening, whatever, because we're all going to have different breakdowns. But remember, whoever's hearing this right now, those breakdowns are leading you to breakthroughs, because that's what Scorpio season does. We bring change, okay, whether we like it or not, and we're going to go through change. Like wherever Scorpio is in your chart, it's here to eliminate what doesn't belong. Just like that's the purpose of the skin, the bladder, the lungs, right? They all work together, just like the different zodiac signs, right? We share a lot of other things with other zodiacs, but Scorpio is the season of change. Mother Nature is showing you, right? You cannot hide anymore, because what happens during fall season into early winter is the leaves start falling. And it's beautiful. She is seducing us, with her beauty, with the foliage and the different colors. And then you get to appreciate the nakedness of nature, even if it looks bleak and dark and empty and cold, right? But when you're able to take that, especially with Venus and Scorpio now, right? That's there's beauty in that. It's nature seducing us. And you don't have to look at it as dark and gloomy. Retrograde is going to bring back what you pushed under the rug. It's bringing us clarity, as I pulled some tarot for us already ahead of time. We got the Ace of Swords in the middle as a collective energy, meaning this is truth. This is us, like, really, because whatever brought us satisfaction in the past for a decade or more is there's something there that we might be not able to look at, but in this season, clarity, because of the Ace of Swords, is coming, because these are the past cards. There was some avoidance of something. There was some with the Tower. This was what I was telling you, the Tower card, and it's in reverse in the past. So there's a lot of us are gonna be brought to a point in our lives where this is transition. You know it on a deep level, and you could either push that away and continue to be doing the same things, because they say, what did they say? What's that line, Adele? Doing the same things is insanity, right? Expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Right. So these changes are coming to you. The clarity is coming to your higher self. Swords is intellect. Swords is air energy. It's coming from above. And if you stay overthinking with the Ten of Swords directly under that, it's like a mental prison. Don't overthink it. Like, trust the downloads. Trust the pulse of what's coming through, because this is going to bring in that fire, like you're saying earlier, with the fire in the belly. There's an energy of breaking free from something or from someone, that's going to bring in this exciting new sense of freedom as we move into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is travel, is movement, right? It's taking what we've been working through Libra season, where remember, where anything was imbalanced, that's starting to come to the surface for us to face. Hey, this is a one-sided connection. This is I'm not appreciated here. All those things are now in our face. And it's getting to the point where you cannot go the way you've been going. So the more you ignore that, the more you're going to continue to sit in resentment, which is Queen of Cups in reverse. This Queen, I like reading for Queen of Cups in reverse because it makes reminds me of the lack of self-care. You've been running around for everyone else, right? You've been doing everything. You're codependent on a job, a relationship, a situation that's leaving you almost ungrounded. But with her in reverse, we need to turn that energy around, right? It's because there's a spiritual revolution inside of you that you can't push down.
Yeah.
So people, yes, we live in a 3D physical world. Yes, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot is out, because we have also inside a destined life which is led by spirit. Our soul also evolves, just like our feet grow, our bodies grow. We change physical bodies all the time in the 3D. Our soul's doing the same thing. So there is a spiritual revolution, and this is a time where, like you said, the word acceptance. I pulled the channeled message for advice for us, and guess what word came out? Acceptance. How
I got goosebumps there as you said that.
Yeah, because that's what you said. That was your intention today, acceptance. So I'm going to read
it. And it's not just your normal intention. Do you know what I mean? Because in the class that I teach, you might talk about our intentions to have energy or to have strength or to have power. But today, I just went with our intention today is acceptance. To accept what's going on. I haven't read anything. I haven't looked up anything. Then you jump on and say, that's what you've written down today. I'm like, what? It's crazy.
It says, so no, that's beautiful. I love how we're in sync and in alignment like that. So it says you can detach and let it go. To continue to resist what you cannot change because you want to be right is ultimately self-destructive. So that just ponder upon that today, whoever's listening to this, because if we resist what we can't change, the rebirth won't be able to come through. You'll be repeating the cycle into 2026, and you're going to feel like frustrated, and maybe for some people it takes another cycle, right? Cycles is all an individual journey. We're all on different levels. So I think once you take the blindfolds off with the Two of Swords in the future here, which I see a lot of the collective doing, this is, you have to do your individual work. Right, you have to do your self-care, your mind, body, and soul, working and getting that in alignment. And if you need help with that, that is what I do. And one of the platforms that I work, and I enjoy working with the clients here on Ask the Answer, is doing that inner work and helping them and guiding them and helping them and connecting with the higher self. When you connect to the higher self, you allow spirit to lead, not the mind, and not just the body, right? But all three in tandem. So Two of Swords is letting go. This is like, and then when a lot of the people are stuck in these cycles of resentment because they overgave. The nurturing Queen of Pentacles energy at the bottom of the deck, which is the overlying energy, because it's going to require courage to take what you're giving so much into, and know that it's time, that this is not really where I want to give in the way that I'm giving anymore. So if you don't know the next path, come and book a session. Come and, because there's a wake-up call coming for the collective. And there are already signs. Have you been seeing what's happening? Have you heard about 3i Atlas? Like things happening on a more higher level with extra ET souls coming through to support us, showing that there's a cosmic, divine power much bigger running this planet. Right? So there's a lot of things that people are going to have to stop ignoring, because the more you ignore your intuition, you're just avoiding. That's avoidance. Is there anything that you're struggling with in a cycle, 1414 on the clock, as I said that, Adele, around breaking free with something, or do you feel you're in alignment?
I would say, obviously, I'm very happy, very content and stuff like that. I suppose for me, I feel that, and it's probably with my husband at the moment with his new job, we do give so much to everything. And I'm very fortunate that I love what I do in all aspects, whether it's the gym, whether it's doing the podcast, whether it's, other bits and bobs that I do. But I feel that I'm probably do the most work out. I do so much work but I'm still broke. I still don't have much money coming in. And I think I'm working and doing so much, but yeah, I still don't. And I'm not someone who wears designer handbags or, all this and that. I get your basic stuff. Obviously, I've invested in my son's clothing range and stuff like that, so that's fine. That's something. But yeah, sometimes I just feel, and we had this discussion. That was what I was about to ask you actually. How maybe this energy around us is impacting people financially. And I did make a comment today because my husband said about the school fees, and they added some more into the invoice and stuff like that. And he said, I'll have to question what that is. Da, da, da. And then my response was, oh, don't worry. It's only money. Don't worry about it. We can't take it to our graves. And he said, yeah, but we can't even pay for our coffins at the moment. We were joking about it. But
that's great.
Says, you do the most work out of anyone I know, but you're still skint. I'm happy, but and I get, do you know what? I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate. I don't need extra money. Do you know what I mean? I've got enough for everything. But sometimes it's nice to have that extra reward for all that hard work you have put in.
Yes, but Adele, again, there's a lot of what we feel, what we speak, what we think, and the energy we embody will create that reality. So I noticed you said I'm still broke. So there is a programming there that we have to work through. You have to go within and say, is that an ingrained thing? Is that something that was embedded? Because if you truly are in alignment, everything gets provided for. And Uranus there's a transit. Uranus is very powerful at this time. The planet Uranus brings shocks and revelations. So maybe you didn't know that, you didn't realize. Because I always preach, I always practice what I preach. Be careful what you speak, think, and feel, because that is creating your future reality.
Yeah.
Even if it takes a little bit of mirror work, a little bit of affirmations and journaling and making new intentions, like I am a money magnet. I am a money miracle magnet. I am wealthy. My DNA has forever brought me riches. Look, I'll send you some stuff to listen to that, to reprogram a lot of the programmed versions of ourselves. So because you're evolving, that's why it doesn't make sense to you, because it's not going to make sense, because we're meant to live a different way than what they're teaching out there in the matrix, right? So I think this is a time where you could step into your Scorpio power, right? And really break free from that, because you have everything. You are living the dream that most people will never be able to step
100%.
into, because so you're actually more abundant than
no, I know. Maybe
the mansions.
Maybe that is the wrong word to use, bro, because I'm not broke. I am provided. I've got, very, very, very fortunate in so many ways.
Yes, you are. And that's abundance right there. You just shifted it.
Yeah.
It is a very high octane emotional period right now, because there's a grand trine, a lot of the transits are going to be in the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So wherever that is in her chart, my mother's been over emotional, calling me every day, in her feelings. And she's normally not like that. She's a Leo.
Yeah.
She's very, she's very stoic mostly. So I'm trying to understand the archetypes in this way and not be too attached. But I admire people right now who have the courage to follow their heart, follow that path, even if it sounds weird, even if trust this hit, this pulse, because that's what's leading you to your true destiny, right? If you have no one to talk to about these things in your community, that's what we're here for. This is your Ask the Answer, exactly what we're doing. It's your spiritual family, right? This is where you're going to be able to use what doesn't make sense in your inner world and make sense of it. But you have to be at peace to also listen to the advice, because it's not me advising. This is just what I call transmitting. This is, what I'm just being guided to say. So I also pulled another card earlier, and it says it's time. I mean, you can't make this up, right? Like, this is like you coming clean with yourself, just as I use that metaphor with nature getting exposed. This is
Mm,
going to be the season of exposure. So, whatever you've been brushing under the rug and you're saying, I hope nobody sees that I'm really struggling. That was very vulnerable of you to say, this is what I'm going through. I have everything I need, but I still feel a little bit of lack in some areas materially. It's coming.
mm, mm.
All this effort we're putting in, the divine sees everything that you're doing, the
Yeah.
effort. All of this is not a waste because it's leading you to something bigger. And that's what vulnerability is being able to follow your heart towards a dream, even if it seems impossible or untouchable, but you're ready. The time is now. It's
Yeah.
not, oh, when I get that next thing, when I reach this, when I have this amount in the bank. No, we have to, like, everything makes sense in the now. Everything that
Hmm.
you want to create for the future takes place now. So
Yeah.
if you want to start a business, start researching, do some due diligence. You don't need $1 million just to start a business. You just ask and go within, find that stillness, that inner peace, right? Like, you created a foundation before and it's led you to where you are today. So in order for the divine universe to use you and help you get out of this old cycle that's really not as fulfilling anymore, right? It's because
Hmm.
why I have proof that it's not fulfilling, because Ace of Cups in reverse, for a lot of people, carrying the resentment and just focusing on the negative things and ignoring it and just like being bitter about it. 21 on the clock, as I said that. You're repressing it. Face it,
Yeah.
admit it. I'm not happy here, and it's okay. Then once it's in AA, the 12 step, the first step is always what?
Awareness, acceptance. Yeah.
Awareness, acceptance.
Mm.
That's always the first step. And from
Yeah.
there, you surrender. And when you surrender, something takes over, something
Yeah.
bigger than yourself, a higher
Mm.
power that is unconditionally loving.
I
And
think
and
off the back of what a lot of what you've said, I think the strong word for me, I think, is that patience. I think because you're so busy working and put all this effort in, and you don't always see the results straight away. I've
mm,
invested a lot into my son's business, and you have
yes,
to pay a lot up front to get things in, but I'm not seeing that return yet with anybody's business. The first year or two, you don't really see much coming back. You invest so much to get it up and running with all the little things, like whether it's buying tables for your pop-up shops, or whether it's buying card machines, all these sort of things that you need, banners, the clothes, whatever it might be. You put so much into it, and you think, oh, I've put all that work in, I haven't got anything back yet. But you have to be patient, you have to nurture it, you have to let it grow. So I suppose that was a little bit of me maybe saying, I've been putting all this energy into things, not seeing much back at the moment. But maybe that's what I need to, taking away from our conversation today, and probably other people might be listening, is that sometimes we just need to be patient and just wait. You're putting the work in and just wait for that, to come full circle, really.
yes, and not just, you're working on a few things. Your life. It's not just one thing. It's like everything will balance out as long as you are putting the time in and you're not expecting a desired outcome. Because
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing is we're undermining the infinite intelligence, because our resources, just because you can't see something right now, or you don't have access to certain things, doesn't mean the universe doesn't, because the universe's resource is way, way more intelligent and it's vast, right? The universe can move mountains. It can remove things that doesn't belong in your life to get you to what you're dreaming of, because that's a shared dream between you and the cosmos. Those,
Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat it again. Those dreams are not ours. There is a spiritual revolution happening inside, and the more we take off the blindfolds, right, for the company that we work for, the relationship that we're in, how you've been a martyr all your life, like different. Everybody has different. Challenges that they're experiencing at this time, and it takes bravery to keep going, and it's okay to ask yourself, what if this doesn't work, or am I on the right path, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
ask for signs. Ask
Yeah.
your divine higher self, please give me a sign, show me the next portal. If this is
Mm-hmm.
not where I'm meant to be, you'll be shown. Sometimes you get it in an hour, sometimes you get it in a week, sometimes 2, 3 days. Everybody's different depending on your level of inner peace and connection. Enough, you have to stay still enough to listen, because when the divine God source speaks, it's not a big boom. It's a subtle whisper. It's in subtle signs. It's through songs, through an animal that comes across you, synchronicities like numbers. Those are true signs that I've always been shown all my life. And that's
Mhm.
why, I love being around indigo children, because they're so tapped in and tuned into their creativity and their imagination. That's, and that'll be brushed off in the school systems today. Oh, that's too much imagination. You're just seeing things. And, because it's dummying down to, this is what you're supposed to see. This is how it's supposed to look. And that to me is, there's some manipulation and control there, because it's a system that's that could be dark, and using people for the wrong reasons, for their own
Mhm.
purposes. So there's a spiritual war happening on the planet that I feel everybody senses on a deep level. Some people are awake, some people are on the path, and some people are creating the new reality, because they don't want to comply anymore, because it's
Mm.
like you're controlled, like that system that you once believed in and supported may be crumbling. You may not see, your views are going to change, your perspectives are going to change, and that's how the soul evolves. So,
Yeah.
again, um, connect with people and set the intention to ask, show me the next person. Who am I supposed to connect with? Where am I supposed to go next? I'm really, it's okay to, the power of prayer really works for me, is it's okay to ask for help, from whether it's from the divine or other people that you trust,
Mm.
to feel safe, like, hey, everything's not together right now. I'm a little vulnerable and I want to share this, and I want to, even if you don't give me advice, I just want to vent and let it out, because repression of emotions and energy causes sickness in the body.
Yeah.
Um, Physically, it's psychosomatic illness and disease. And when your mind is not at rest, it's at dis-ease, right? It's you're going to think you're crazy, but you're not crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's just having
My,
those tools of empowerment, Adele. And you and I
yeah.
know a lot about that, and that's what we want to share with the audience, is to make sure your spiritual tool belt is ready.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was a girl, well, a school mum from school, bless her, and we had a really, really nice chat. I went out with my horse the other day, and I said, "Oh, do you want to come out with me?" Because she'd been having a very difficult time. And she said, "Oh, I'd actually love to." And bless her, I picked her up, and she had a bit of an emotional time with her daughter prior to meeting up with me. So I could already tell when she got in the car that she was all worked out, all quite emotional. And we had a lovely chat. It was about half-hour drive to the venue that we were at. And then even on the way back, she was like, just saying, "Thank you so much. I really enjoyed today. It's exactly what I needed. I just need to have a chat with someone." Because bless her, literally in the last 3 months, her daughter got run over, who is fine. She got run over on the way to school. Her husband then got burnt at work and had to go to A&E. And then she literally drove into a big stag. A stag jumped into her car, damaged her car. It's now a write-off. All those three things have happened literally in the last couple of weeks or months, and she's still on the outside looks so positive and so cheery, but you can see when she was in the car how much she was struggling and trying to keep it all together. And I think it was just maybe it's the right time, right place, that I just said, "Do you want to come with me, out with me for the day?" And she's like, "I'd love to have a change of scenery and get out." And she sounded so much better in herself afterwards. And just taking that extra time out to notice maybe somebody needs that extra, change of scenery or a bit of a listening ear, so to speak, can go a long way.
That's beautiful, Adele. God bless her soul. It definitely wasn't her time, or
No.
his time. And Mercury is in Scorpio, so a lot of people, Mercury, I mean Mars in Scorpio. It's fiery. It's impulsive. A lot of people, I get burnt all the time, because
Mm-hmm.
my main two are ruled by Mars. Aries double Scorpio. So one is ruled by Venus, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I get burnt all my life. Most of my scars are from burns, like freak burns, like almost like, oh my God, I forgot that was hot. It's
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that is very normal at this time. So that's why with the retrograde, take your time, have alternate plans, especially with here in America, there's a shutdown in the government and we don't know what to expect. So always I'm giving myself, I learned that lesson a long time ago. I'm not, because my nervous system is my main priority. And when your nervous system is calm, you're able to transmit solutions much quicker with ease rather than panicking, because panicking creates more of that energy, right? More
Yeah.
anxiety and more blocks.
Right.
And then you fall. Some people can easily fall into victim. Why is this always happening to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're the creator of your reality. So this is why I love what I do.
Well, Sherry, we're going to have to wrap it up, I'm afraid. But what a lovely podcast again. So much to be aware of. Again, being in tune with one another and in sync of the energies that are out there. Love that.
Yeah.
And of course, you're always there. So if people are, relating to what we've been discussing today, it's something that they're going through or other people in their lives are going through it and they want to know how they can best support them, anything. There's no sort of stone unturned when they come through and have readings with you, Sherry. You are very non-judgmental. You're open to hearing anything, but not only that, you can give great guidance and great enlightenment to their lives.
Thank you so much for saying that. And they can reach me at 500-640.
That's what I was about to ask. What's your PIN number?
Yeah. And I always enjoy my regulars.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Brilliant. Well, regulars and newbies, whoever's listening, feel free to give Sherry a chat or a call on the phone line. Sherry, thank you so much indeed. Always a pleasure. We look forward to the next installment.
Me too. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye, Del. Thank you.